Welcome back to Bubbles Stock Market Close Show for Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. It's 3:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's about 17 minutes left in the stock market. Let's take a look at what has been going on. I'll tell you one thing that hasn't gone on. One thing that has not gone on is I did not get filled on my short put to make myself a strangle. We'll see. Tomorrow I might have to expedite some things to make that happen, or maybe I will just only sell a call this time. We'll see. All right, our four indices of the stock market having a good green day. Basically, still trying to stay in the top of that of the range after that big decline like 2 Fridays ago, roughly 2 Fridays ago. So that is pretty good. VIX is coming down. Crude oil definitely going up. Bitcoin moving up a bit. Looks about in the same proportion as the stock market. Silver moved up a little bit, but pulling back. Same for gold. Let's switch this over here to see what the FANG stocks are doing. Mag 7. All right, we see Apple still kind of in this upward trend, but as far as the last couple days, it it's not having a big green day today for sure. It's having a small little doji red day. Amazon is trying to work its way up to the middle of its trading range for the last 3 months. Microsoft, almost some doji-ish action here, kind of in the same thing, middle of its sideways range. Nvidia, we're having a pop on an update, but you see on the 3 month, looking at a 3 month from left to right, it's not really that much higher than it was 3 months ago. It's right, just looks range bound at the moment. Netflix really sold off on earnings, gap down, and looks like it might be putting in this long bottoming tail. We'll see if it's going to start bottoming out, but right now it's broke out of the range it was at. Maybe it's going to move a little lower. We'll see. It's a significant move. I don't know if that's significant, but kind of a significant move. We got resistance right in this area from about here, right in here. We see the resistance in here from the past, or support from the past, and catches some support in here. Now it looks like it's dealing with that same area of being resistance, but this is looking somewhat promising to the upside. Who knows how that will shake out? Meta basically doing its sideways range. Google, tiny little green update, and overall still an uptrend. That is the Mag 7. Is there anything else worth looking at? Sure. Let's look at what I like these general. We see the S&P 500 via the SPY having a nice day, recovering the losses of yesterday, and again, it's just fighting to stay in the top of this range, and not too far away from all-time highs though. Probably there's a chance we might be making all-time highs again. The VIX, we got that moving down a bit. Still trying to get my fill. It's not working. Not working over here. CrowdStrike having an up day. IBIT and BTCI in C for these. They're kind of, this one more than that one got a downward slant to the moving averages. We're kind of more in the bottom of that channel for both of them. Coca-Cola pulling back a little bit, but seems like it's going to catch some support right there at 70. MO having a weak green doji day over here. FCX started off the day. FCX started off the pre-market trading really strong. It got all the way up here, but sellers have pushed that price down, and now we're doing like we got a topping tail going on right there. SMCI still selling off. It looks like it might end up going down here to around 40. If we'll see if it catches some support right in here in this area, maybe it's going to stall out a little bit, but otherwise it seems like it could come down to this 40-ish area. Oklo having a bit of little tiny green day today. We already went over FCX. Hood having a bigger green day today. Looks like maybe put in a bottoming tail here around the 125. Palantir having a nice up day today as well. And Tesla kind of gapped down, had a sell off for after hours earnings yesterday, and now it's pushing up quite a bit. Looks like it's up $9, almost $10 for the day. And over here on ASTS, maybe it's going to be creating a little bit of support right in here. We will see. 10 minutes left before this closes down. Anything? Let's just take a look over here. This is monthly candles, and from left to right, the max information that Thinkorswim has on Bitcoin futures. But so here's it's like going back to 2018, well, 2017 actually. We got our first candle here, and still doing this uptrend. I got just playing around with putting something together, but it looks like maybe it's right here catching the support around the $100,000 area. Maybe it's just kind of like a step here, little bit up. Looks like that's what's going on. What about sector ETFs? Let's run through this real quick. No surprise, Q's looking like a lot of the other indices. Same thing with S&P 500, Dow Jones, a little bit lagging compared to those other two, and Russell is quite a bit whippy compared to all those. After that big down day, went all the way back up here, hit an all-time high, all the way back here, trying to get back up there. Not too far away from the 250. Not too far away from all-time highs. Not too far, but a little bit away. Communications looks like it might be starting to kind of do some sideways moving here. Nice up candle for the technology ETF. And the financials. Well, we see our 200-day moving average overall has got a nice slope up. But we see these shorter term moving averages 9 and 20 moving down. So how close is it going to get to this 200-day moving average? Is it going to fall below it and then go back up, or is it going to not fall below it and go back up and go sideways? Transports are really sold off today, all the way down here, catching a little bit of buyers over here at the 200-day moving average. Energy, boom, gapped up, even though it's a red candle at the moment. Got a long wick to the bottom. Looks like these moving averages might start moving up. Real estate. I should at least look at if there is any premium anywhere on these strikes, or is this option change not good at all? Semiconductors having a good up day, kind of reversing, regaining the losses of yesterday. and still battling to get to the top of this range from the big drop. Consumer staples below the 200-day moving average with this big sell-off over here that brought it below the 200-day average, started catching some support right in here, moving up towards that 200-day average, but it looks like it's having some difficulty in this resistance area here with around the $80 range. VIX moving down. Let's see it around 15 again. That would be exciting. If not, whatever. Volatility of the VIX moving down. Consumer discretionary. Quite a bit of an update. Looks like those moving averages are starting to move up. Let's see if we can hit some all-time highs. Not too far away. Bit off. Less than $10 away from all-time high. And then healthcare. Healthcare is moving up. We're right into this resistance area of about a year ago. So basically, it went down so much, it went sideways, it started going up, and we'll see. It's sideways from 1 year. Be interesting to see how that's going to flow. Utilities, day after day after day after day of red candles so far, pull back to this 20-day moving average. It looks like we're catching some support. We're on the 90. Basic materials, or I don't know if it's basic materials or just materials. For some reason, I feel like I picked up the word basic materials. But we're bouncing around the 200-day moving average. Now we're heading up a bit off that. Let's see if this is going to put in a bit of a kind of a temporary bottom for it to start moving up. That is all of those. All the sectors. I feel like my trading style is pretty kind of boring. Okay. I saw a lot of options, and sometimes just sitting around waiting to see what's going to happen after these options are sold or trying to get filled. Energy sector. Yeah. So kind of at least for me, I have a hard time knowing what everybody else is doing, but for me, it has been pretty mellow trading day. We got Walmart, Walmart having a bit of a pullback day. We looked at Mo, almost a doji. Coca-Cola, we looked at that, pulling back, catching support around the 70. ExxonMobil, really range bound. Like there is this big range that's at the top of it right now, getting close to 120. J&J, which for some reason I have listed on here twice, been in an uptrend. It's kind of going sideways at the moment. Colgate Palmolive, down day, hit that $80 yesterday and sold off today. Excuse me. Bam, a little bit of we got a gap up here on Dow. Gap up. I think that might have reported earnings today. Maybe it's about time Dow had some good news for it. Because look what it's been doing over the last year. Maybe even more. That looks better. Rio Tinto, running into a little bit of resistance or slowing momentum or something. HRL, the Hormel Foods, gap down here on this. I think it was an earnings report, and it has just kind of been moving slowly down ever since then. Procter and Gamble, overall on the year, it's down. It's down. Got as low as this 146.97. Pull up a bit from that. And as I mentioned, I got Johnson and Johnson in there twice. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left of trading for the day. Not not a very surprising day. Overall, market is having a most stocks are having a up day from what I can see. Some are having a little bit of a down day. Uh, Aside from a few, like CrowdStrike had a big, strong update today. It looks like it moved up about $22. That is pretty exciting. Other than that, this SMCI really sold off. So it kind of, sort of, some stuff moving pretty strong to the upside, some stuff moving down a bit, some stuff just kind of moving right in the middle. Hey, we got 12 seconds left of market, 10 seconds left. They're going to be shutting it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. She is, or he, or whatever pronoun the market is closed. I don't know what proper pronoun the market has, but I know it is closed. So maybe that's the proper verb for it. With that, my friends, we rang in another one, another day in the markets, closed down. Almost done on the week. Let's take a quick peek at the overall markets on the weekly chart. So from left to right, we're looking at 9 months, each candle, the red or green thing, 1 week of trading time. Not too different of a look than what we see on the daily chart. At least down here, we see it's fighting to get kind of stay at the top end of the range. Looks like the dollar, based on this, looks like it's kind of bottoming out. Maybe it's going to be heading for upward climb for a little while. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, what are you going to do for tomorrow and next week for your brokerage account? I know what I'm doing, at least tomorrow. Letting positions expire. Gonna see if I can slide in a short put on now at strike price that seems reasonable, and I would like to make, of course, some money, but there's a number that I would like to hit, and not entirely sure how easy that will be with only 1 day to expiration, without taking undue risk. Where might that undue risk be? We could go, let's see, we can do it like this. A lot of times I like to sell at the 850. Not all the time, but a lot of times. So 850, we're looking way down here. It's not even on this chart. 850, kind of right in here. This is a weekly, 1 year. And let's pop this open. So we see it's in this area. This is right around the 850. Yeah, 845 to about 860 or so. And it seems, so obviously it's came down this low, but it reversed, pivoted right in this area. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. I like the 800 more, but sometimes, it's like right now, there's no premium. Let me show you what I mean. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Come on. There we go. There we go. Let's bring this over here. Evaporating premium all day. Boom. Look at this. Over here at the 860. Zero. Look at zeros all the way. All the way. It's usually why I like that get. Put this trade on, have both sides already on because it just starts these faraway strikes just starts deteriorating away. Now that doesn't mean that your position will be profitable because a lot of times what will happen is, at least on ServiceNow, look at this, 280 bucks to buy this put at 810, and then some people actually got about a little bit over 100 people doing that. Highest price it sold today, 10 bucks. So it must have somehow there was a sale. But if you know what's half of 280, it's gonna be like 140. So if you sold this today for 10 bucks, your on your monitor tab, it's gonna be showing it's gonna be showing a paper loss of about 130 bucks or so. It's showing the mark, yeah, 140, about 130 bucks. And because if you were to close it out right now, there's just not enough liquidity in the contract to get it. So this is pretty common with ServiceNow where I have I'll have a position on either on the call or the put side, and this will happen where it'll be like um, a one, like for example right here, the 1.6% chance of it expiring in the money, but yet I'll have like a pretty big loss going on, paper loss, because of this discrepancy between the bid and the ask. And but if there's no bid, obviously it's like, I think it's obvious if there's no bid, then there's really no demand for that insurance product. Only the market maker selling there. So I don't know. I don't really, even at the 870, I think ServiceNow can just move quite a bit. Like we got a daily ATR of 26 bucks. So that would, from where we're at right now, that would um, drop us around a little bit above 900. But just some, bad news or some heavy sell-off could could really drop possibly more than 26 points. So not sure how close I want to get. Or about, like, here's in the, let's look at the 890, 870, 880, 890. 870, no bid. 880, no bid. 890, maybe get 45 bucks. I don't know, I might do this one. We'll see. We'll see how it looks tomorrow. But for me, once it starts selling, like, 1 day to expiration or 0 days to expiration, I guess. I'm selling the same day it's going to expire, and I got to get closer to the money. And ServiceNow, it can move either way. And I think overall, if let's take a look again at ServiceNow. Let's open this up. We'll change this 1 year to 5 years. So in a 5 year time period, been going up, but since about here, it overall kind of been going down. Sold off really bad here, all the way to 700, rallied up here, dropped off here. So are we getting low, higher low, higher low, higher low? Is that what we're getting? Or are we getting a high, lower high, lower high? It's probably going to be a bit dependent on what the overall stock market is doing. And just for fun, let's which I don't think this part's going to be impressive. I think it's going to be kind of comical. Let's look at some of the fundamentals of ServiceNow. Okay, it's profitable, almost 14% profit margin, um, close to 80% gross margin. PE, look at this, 117. PEG, almost 6. Enterprise value to EBITDA, almost 90. So as far as just like, is this a good deal to buy right at the moment? Doesn't seem like it. Not compared to something like, let's do what I know is a pretty good deal at the moment. You got a PE 12 and a half, PEG closer to 3, enterprise value over EBITDA almost as low as 10. Look at this profit margin, blowing that ServiceNow out of the water. Can you believe that? Gross profit margin might not be as high, but I'll tell you what, that profit margin is better. Everything on this fundamentals look better. But hey, just well, sometimes you just gotta make the money where you can. Do what you can do while you can do it. At least that's seems somewhat reasonable, right? How do you know how to make money? Make that money, try to figure out a better way where you can either make more money taking the same amount of risk or make the same amount of money taking less risk. Do it however you need to do it. With that, my friends, you guys have a fantastic Thursday. Aloha.